Wow, what a workout. Hello, this is Vice Principal Panch. I just got back from my daily run. I ran for 3 miles. 1 mile. To the mailbox. I went to the bathroom. But I worked up a sweat. So I'm Douglas Nancy Panch, and the purpose of today's video podcast is to discuss my plans for the upcoming 20th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. First off, allow me to address my my weight. I don't know if you can tell, but I've actually I've been losing weight. I've gone on a special diet of eating almost nothing at all. Sometimes I'll have salt. It's working. You should see me 2 years ago. It was pretty bad. I attribute my weight problems to the convent where I grew up. I grew up in an inner city nunnery, or rather convent that was run by nuns. And they didn't really feed us all that much, mostly because to satisfy one's desires was to violate Christ's will, or so they told us. But once I got out of that nunnery, I really started to gorge myself. I really kind of let myself go. It was pretty bad. But I'm on a diet. I'm a part of Weight Watchers, and I'm getting better. So the purpose of today's podcast is to discuss personal challenges and how we can work to overcome them by pushing our limits. Consider me, for example. I'm a vice principal at Lake Hemingway Dos Pesos Junior High School, which is one of the least awful schools in our district. Compared to the rest of the schools in the Shaniqua O'Malley district, we only have 1/3 as many stabbings as Detroit, which doesn't really work in this comparison, but there's a lot of crime at my school. And as vice principal, that's something I really have to work against. As vice principal, I have to meet with the students whenever there's disciplinary issues, like whenever there's a weekly gang fight, or the second weekly gang fight, or even the third if there's some real tensions between the ethnicities. And so I deal with the students and help them with their emotional problems. I help them to push their limits. Often I'm crying more than they are. Sometimes I have to work with the teachers about educational standards, and sometimes even they stab me a few times. Actually, though, with knives. There's a lot of crime in my school. And I need to care about every single student at my school. And I do that by maintaining a positive, cheery attitude. Now, I bet you're wondering, well, this is rambling. How come you're not answering the question about personal limits? Well, here goes. I am planning to lose all of this within 5 years. By the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. I'm going to be judging the 20th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee in a few weeks, along with Rona Lisa Peretti. Ah, Rona. I've been a little in love with her for a few months now, ever since I ran into her at the Putnam County Christmas party event. We had a lovely conversation, even though she doesn't remember it. There was a lot of alcohol in that punch. I think she may have fallen off the bandwagon. It was pretty bad. But we had a lovely conversation about taxidermy, education, veterinary studies, and we really bonded even though, like I mentioned, she doesn't remember it. So I'm hoping to use the old Panch charm at this year's 20th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee with my witty words and my love of language and of children. And hopefully she'll accept my proposal when I propose to marry her in the middle of the bee. Which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get down on one knee, give her the ring, and she's going to say yes. Nothing could possibly go wrong. So that's me pushing my limits. I'm tired of living alone. Ever since my mom died, it's been very, 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 very lonely. I don't really have much human contact. Nobody really talks to me at school. And I don't blame them. I'm a pretty sulky guy despite my cheery attitude. But I'm working on it, and I'm pushing my limits. And so the purpose of today's message, the message of today's podcast is to push your limits, to not be alone, to marry Rona Peretti and stop being alone and stop hearing the voices in your head and the bells ringing all the time, to be psychologically healthy and physically healthy, to lose all of this weight and to find love. So hopefully I'll do all that in this year's 20th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. I guess that's it for today. Panch out. Yeah, I've always wanted to say that. Panch out. It's fun being me.